In this episode of AI, Artificial Imagination, you'll hear about a royally odd collection of pets, and a stranger who disappears, leaving only an empty bottle.
Hi, we're AI. Thanks for downloading this podcast.
In this series, you'll hear how we interpreted a string of prompts to create a collection of dreams.
Most were single-word prompts. Just one was slightly more descriptive. All of them were chosen randomly, and all the dreams are read by AI voices.
At the start of each episode, you'll hear the precise prompts that were provided for the dream. Spoiler alert, we don't always use all of them.
We hope you enjoy.
We hope you enjoy. AI, Artificial Imagination, Episode 3. Wine, record, sneeze, lizards, trousers, canvas, air, marble, cushion, protest, flag, drum, cactus, mouth, credit, and the name of a member of the British royal family. It was a dream unlike any other, one that left me feeling both bewildered and amused. The setting was a grandiose hall, adorned with an array of paintings and sculptures all made from marble. I was standing at one end of the room, admiring the works of art, when I noticed someone familiar in the distance. It was Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, wearing a bright red shirt and a pair of black trousers. He appeared to be engrossed in a conversation with a group of people, but as I approached, he turned to greet me with a warm smile. As we conversed, he offered me a glass of red wine, which I gladly accepted. I took a sip, and the wine's aroma was captivating. We continued to chat, and I noticed a record player on the far end of the room. Harry suggested that we play some music, and we put on a vinyl record of classic rock songs. As the music played, I felt a sudden urge to sneeze, and I reached for a cushion to muffle the sound. To my surprise, the cushion was covered in lizards, which scattered in every direction as I grabbed it. Harry chuckled and told me not to worry, as they were his pets. As we continued our conversation, I noticed a canvas painting of an air balloon floating in the sky, and it caught my eye. Harry noticed my interest and began to tell me a story about his own experience of hot air ballooning. Suddenly, a loud protest broke out outside, and we rushed to the window to see what was happening. A group of people had gathered outside, waving flags and beating drums, and they were protesting against the use of cacti in traditional medicine. As we watched the commotion, I felt a sudden pain in my mouth, and I realized that I had accidentally bitten my tongue. Harry quickly offered me a marble to suck on, and I was grateful for the relief it provided. As the protest outside began to subside, Harry and I resumed our conversation, discussing the importance of giving credit to marginalized communities in the art world. It was a topic close to both of our hearts, and we spent hours discussing it. The dream was a jumbled mess of oddities, but it left me with a sense of warmth and fondness towards Prince Harry. Even in my subconscious mind, he exuded kindness and intelligence, and I was glad to have spent time with him.
Boy, memory, girl, visitor, ice, shoes, alarm, bottle, slip, cellar, plow, laugh, oranges, quicksand, and the name of a member of the cast of the TV show, Friends. As I closed my eyes to sleep, my mind was taken to a dream world where anything could happen. In this dream, I found myself walking through a dense forest, with towering trees on either side of me. I noticed a young boy walking ahead of me, and as I drew closer, I recognized him as Ross Geller, a member of the cast of the TV show Friends. As we walked, Ross seemed to be lost in thought, his eyes staring blankly ahead of him. I asked him what was on his mind, and he replied that he was trying to remember something, but couldn't quite put his finger on it. I asked him if it was a memory from his childhood, and he nodded in agreement. As we continued to walk, we came across a small girl who seemed to be lost and confused. Ross recognized her as his sister, Monica Geller, and rushed to her side. She told us that she had been looking for her favorite pair of shoes, but had been unable to find them. Suddenly, we heard the sound of an alarm ringing in the distance, and we realized that we needed to hurry if we wanted to get out of the forest in time. As we hurried along, we came across a visitor who seemed to be lost and disoriented. Ross and Monica offered to help him find his way, and we all continued on together. As we walked, we came across a patch of ice, which made it difficult for us to keep our footing. The visitor slipped and fell, but thankfully, he was not hurt. As we helped him back to his feet, we noticed a bottle lying nearby, which had apparently fallen out of his backpack. We continued on our way until we came to a cellar, which seemed to be completely dark and foreboding. Ross and Monica were hesitant to enter, but the visitor assured us that it was the only way out of the forest. As we descended into the cellar, we felt the ground shift beneath our feet, as though we were sinking into quicksand. Just when it seemed like we might never escape, we heard a plow moving overhead, and we knew that we were almost there. We continued to move forward until we emerged from the cellar and found ourselves surrounded by bright orange trees. We all began to laugh with relief as we realized that we had made it out of the forest safely. As we looked around, we saw that the visitor had disappeared, leaving behind only his bottle, which now lay empty on the ground. Ross and Monica turned to me and asked if I had any idea what had just happened. I shook my head, telling them that I was just as confused as they were. As we made our way back to civilization, we talked about the strange series of events that had just taken place. Ross and Monica speculated that perhaps the visitor had been a figment of our imaginations, or maybe a ghost from the past. I wondered if we had all been dreaming together, sharing a collective experience. As we parted ways, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something important that I had missed. It wasn't until I woke up the next morning that I remembered the slip of paper that the visitor had handed me before he disappeared. On the paper, there was a single word written in bold letters: oranges. The memory of the dream stayed with me for days, as I tried to make sense of the strange and surreal events that had taken place. In the end, I came to the conclusion that perhaps dreams are not meant to be understood, but simply experienced.
AI Artificial Imagination was written and performed by AI and produced by humans. Check out aiartificialimagination.com for more. If you like this podcast, please consider subscribing and be sure to tell other humans about it.